Yamazaki is the guy who's always brutally honest, no sugarcoating. Whether you want to hear it or not, he'll tell you. Compared to Satou, he looks like he's got his life together, but don't be fooled. He's a hardcore anime and game nerd, using hobbies and alcohol to pose the chaos life throws at him. Let's proceed and take a look at what Yamazaki's escapism really means, and what's going on beneath the surface. So, who exactly is Yamazaki? He's actually Satou's underclassman, and here's how it started. One day Yamazaki was getting beat up. Satou, trying to impress Hitomi, stepped in to help. But he got beat up too. But hey, the punches stopped. Not the hero's moment he expected, but it worked. Yamazaki didn't forget that, and later joined Satou and Hitomi's literature club. Years passed. Satou had left school, and then one day, Yamazaki became his neighbor. When Satou finally lost it over someone blasting loud music next door, it turned out to be a reunion, cause that noisy neighbor was Yamazaki. Now, Yamazaki's room is like a shrine to escapism, shelves crammed with anime magazines. Yes, including the ones you wouldn't find in your local library. CDs stacked to the ceiling and figurines everywhere. It's not just fandom, it's a world he's built for himself, where outside stress doesn't get in. For Yamazaki, anime and games aren't just hobbies, they're almost like a lifeline. So he and Satou decide to make a gal game. Satou's goal? Impress Mizuki. Yamazaki's was to break into the game scene. Yamazaki handled almost everything. Programming, designs, all the difficult parts, leaving Satou to write the script whenever inspiration hit. This wasn't just a side project. For them, it was a chance to rewrite what people saw when they looked at them. Yamazaki's passion didn't come from nowhere. Back home, his life was already pre-written. Inherit a farm, get married at this age, have kids at that age, retire, pass the farm to his child, then die. A respectable future. As if you're into farming simulators with no pause button. But Yamazaki wasn't. He wanted to make games, not crops. So he left, moved to Tokyo and enrolled in a game programming course. It wasn't just chasing a dream, it was rebellion. In Tokyo, there was Nanako, that kind of rhymes, a classmate he liked. She's friendly, but her friends made sure she knew he was an outsider. It wasn't the first time. Back in the day, his first love turned down a fireworks date since she had to visit her hospitalized grandfather. Yamazaki went alone and saw her there with another boy. From that night on, he convinced himself real women couldn't be trusted, that the great ones lived inside games. He even projected this belief when talking to Satou about Mizuki. One day, he invited Nanako to a fireworks show. She turned him down. She was busy. Rejection. Again. Until she called back while he was working with Satou when she said she could make it. And just like that, the bitterness faded, and he left Satou alone with the project to meet her. For all the walls he built, Yamazaki still hoped someone might see him differently. They worked towards a trial version of the gal game, but life kept getting in the way. Satou spiraled, disappearing into breakdowns. Yamazaki carried the project on his back. He talked big about Natsucomi, the summer convention. One night, drunk, he bragged to his classmates about the game. They smirked, dismissed him, same as always. When Natsucomi finally came around, the hall buzzed with excitement. Other booths had lines, but his didn't. Satou wasn't there. He was off handling his own disaster. Yamazaki went alone and sold nothing. Not a single copy. He came back home drunk, frustrated, blaming Satou for missing their shot. And in his mind, it wasn't just about the game. It was about proving to himself and to everyone else that he could be more than that weird anime guy. It wasn't just that Natsucomi went badly. Yamazaki had thrown everything into it. All the late nights, all the work, and walked away with a stack of unsold copies. But he wasn't done. Winter meant Fuyucomi, one last shot. So they both put in more work than before to complete a prototype of the game. And then, just before the event, his father was hospitalized. Yamazaki went home, came back, and told Satou the truth. His dad was discharged, but couldn't work anymore. After Fuyucomi, he'd have to take over the family farm. This wasn't just another convention. It was his last shot before going back to the life he'd run away from. Something shifted in those final days. He burned his school books, invited Satou over, ordered food for both him and Satou, something he hadn't done before. Then he called Nanako to his room, Showed her everything. The magazines, the CDs, the posters. No mask, no pretending. But she didn't mock him. She accepted him. But he pushed her away. Teased her, insulted her until she hit him and stormed out. Satou filmed it at Yamazaki's request. Maybe as proof, maybe to tell himself it didn't matter, but it did. After that, he and Satou went all in on the game. Long days, long nights. Fuyucomi finally arrived, a freezing winter morning. They sold 5 copies. 5. And Yamazaki somehow still found hope. He said, if one of those 5 people post about how wonderful this game is on the net, it could be our big break. Then he also said, I mean, it doesn't matter whether it sold well or not, as long as I was able to leave a mark on the fact I was living in Tokyo. Yamazaki tried to cling on to this final chance despite his inevitable return to a life he had previously left. The next day, Yamazaki packed up his life. Left Satou a pudding figure, some noodles, even his old laptop. The night before, snow fell, signifying the end of the year and the end of his chapter in Tokyo. At the station, bag in hand, he looked at Satou and said, "Don't lose, like I did." Then he boarded the train. Yamazaki's room, his games, his figures, they were never just hobbies. They were the world he built when the real one didn't feel like his own. In Tokyo, he lived in that world freely, but in the end, the outside world caught up. As he once said, there's an introduction, development, turn, and conclusion in dramas. It's a burst of emotions and closure. Our lives will always be filled with a vague uncertainty. And maybe that's what makes his story hit harder, the fact that, unlike a drama, Yamazaki's arc didn't end with a perfect resolution. Just acceptance. But that doesn't make it meaningless. Life rarely follows the plans we make when we're young, and still, we grow. Yamazaki didn't get everything he wanted, but he found something else. A quieter kind of fulfillment, one built not on fantasy, but on facing life as it comes. And in that way, his story reminds us, even if things don't go the way we imagined, there's still value, still hope, and what comes next. Thanks again for watching. If Yamazaki's story resonated with you, drop a comment. I'd love to hear your take. And if you're into thoughtful character deep dives like this, feel free to subscribe. No pressure, just happy to have you here. Again, thank you for watching. Take care.